Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 5 of our weekly broadcast, our PACE broadcast. Here on a beautiful rainy afternoon, had a great day for baseball yesterday and a great game yesterday. And Coach, welcome back. Here with Coach Hughes, the head baseball coach here for Nixa High School in Eagle Nation. Coach, as we sit here today, we're 15-0. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I know that means a lot to you, and I know that you guys are trying to go 1-0 every day. I think that's one of your slogans, and I really like that. But let's run through some of the games we've had this last week, and then let's talk about some of the successes. And there's a couple of plays I want to talk about too that I think are very interesting in how we executed, and we did very well. So Glendale came in, a good Glendale team, very positive team. You know, been a few years since we beat them, to be honest, and we win 8-5. And then Reed Springs, a solid team, kind of on a rebuilding program. We went to 15-0 on them. Columbia Hickman, we went down to Hollister and played them, which is a beautiful facility down there. Hats off to Hollister and what they've done for that program. Columbia Hickman, a good 6A team out of the Columbia area, 16-6. St. Francis here, what a crazy game in 8 innings, 16-14. I think there were a little less than 100 hits on each side. I don't know. And then McDonald County, hey, not a bad program. Had some really good players, some kids that are going to go to some JUCOs. I know I think the catcher was going to California to play in a junior college somewhere out there. So a really good program. And then a really good number one in the state for 5A, Willard Tigers last night. We come away with a 10-2 victory. So, I mean, what else can you say? You know, on our hits, that was an average of about 11.6, about 11.5 hits a game, and on runs, almost 13 runs a game. And I think when you do that on a consistent basis, it's going to be hard to beat somebody who can put that many runs up. So let's talk about that. Those are good numbers. I know you don't really track numbers. You just track, hey, we just want to go out and compete. But when you look at those numbers, tell me kind of where does that put your head? Where are you with that?
Yeah, it was a good week of baseball. I mean, we played a lot of good teams, faced a lot of good pitchers, faced a lot of good left-handed pitchers, which was good for us, especially coming into last night's game and moving forward. The guys at the plate, again, I don't base a whole lot of stuff off numbers. I go more so on feel and kind of like what we're seeing from our guys at the plate. And we're starting to figure out at the plate how to just be aggressive and just let it fly, honestly, is what we tell them. And, I told them a week or two ago, I said, we're going to become a really good hitting team when we start swinging and missing more early in the count. And it's a weird concept, but it just means we're ready to attack. Like we're ready to swing and be aggressive and being okay with swinging and missing with no strikes because it's just one pitch. But we've started to figure that out a little bit, and you can see based on last night's game, I mean, we pummeled some baseballs in that game last night and hit some balls really, really hard. I can't remember the exact number, but I think we had 11 hits, 10 or 11 hits, and 7 or 8 of those were extra base hits, that we just hit off the wall in center, and Ryland left the yard. And so it's just one of those things that you get hot. Guys are starting to figure it out across the board. No matter what lineup we've put in there, we've got 12 or 13 guys that are playing pretty consistently, and every single one of those guys is putting together quality at bats and team at bats. And so when you do that kind of stuff, and play good solid defense, the way our pitching's been this year, that's why we're having the success that we are on the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, and hats off to Keith Pietmeyer too for an incredible game. 107 pitches, complete game. He really settled in those second, third, and then third on innings. I think Willard had maybe 4 hits the entire night.
Yeah.
I think he had 7 strikeouts. Phenomenal game, and to compete the way he did too. And so let's look at that. So, Bill Meyer, a great, going to go to Drury, I think next year. Great left-handed thrower, sets in nicely, keeps the ball around the zone. Didn't seem to matter to us. We didn't care who they put out there. I think Willard went through 4 pitchers. I think McDonald County went through 4 pitchers, trying to throw anything at us that they could maybe to throw us off. So tell us, as you go, is that something you guys concentrate on? Hey, let's get past the starter and see how quickly we can get to that next guy. Is that a conversation you guys have?
Yeah, it's just, it's kind of one of those things. They're starters for a reason on the mound. Usually that's the guy that they want to go deeper in the game. And so our goal is always to try to knock them out as quick as possible. I think we got to Beeler in the second inning or maybe into the third. And now you're going on guys that aren't used to being on the mound that early in the game, and it sometimes can be a little bit more uncomfortable for those guys. And again, it's just kind of a mindset that we got going at the plate. We just want to attack. We don't really care who's on the mound, who we're facing, that kind of thing. We're pretty confident in who we are and what we're doing, that we believe in our guys, and our guys are starting to believe in themselves. And you can tell by the type of swings that we're putting on the baseball and the confidence that we have in the plate. And so it's really fun to watch.
And so the next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the atmosphere, because we talk about that a lot. We're trying to make, get more bleachers so we can, house more people. Of course, we knew it was going to be a big game last night.
Yep.
Willard was going to be represented. They're good. They have a really good baseball program. Coach McGee is an incredible coach.
Yep.
They're always prepared no matter who they play. But I want to talk about, you've got 9 guys that when the game starts, they're on the field. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like, I don't know how many people we have on our roster, but it feels like the guys in the dugout could be the guys on the field and vice versa. I mean, I don't feel like, it doesn't feel like there is any, inconsistencies between the starters and the folks that are standing in the dugout, even though maybe some of the guys in the dugout, they don't get as many innings or maybe ABs or C plate appearances. So let's talk about that. It's a culture. And we've talked about that several times, and it's a positive culture, and it helps.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're down by 2 runs in the 7th inning,
Yep.
like we were on Saturday. So let's talk about that. How do you guys set the tone for that to make sure that that the guys in the dugout they are just as important as the guys on the field?
Yep.
How do you set that tone and stay positive during that?
Yeah, I think we just got a complete group of guys who are selfless, and they literally don't care who gets the glory or who gets the credit. They're genuinely happy for each other, celebrating. They do that thing before every inning on offense where guys come out of the bullpen and they're jumping around and yelling in the dugout and getting energy going. And that just kind of speaks to the type of guys that we have on this team. And it doesn't matter if they're seniors or freshmen, anywhere in between. Just got a group that wants to win baseball games, and they don't care who does it or who's performing or who's playing. But that also speaks to their energy in the dugout, which carries over onto the field. Guys come off the bench, come in and play great defense or get big hits, or we write a different lineup the next night and we don't lose a beat because those guys have been ready to go every single game. And so it's just the type of players that we have and type of people that we have on the coaching staff and with all of our guys, just great guys, and they want to win.
Well, it's a testament to your philosophy and to the culture that you created on the team. So one of the things I wanted to cover is a play that we saw last night I think Willard was up 2-0. They had a guy on first and a guy on third, and it was an intentional pickoff move. He slowly starts to go to second. Keith steps off, gets him in a rundown, but we've got a guy on third that's waiting for the throw to time it correctly. Well, Retone played it perfectly. I thought, all of our infielders were in the right position to make the play, and I saw Keith moving, where he was supposed to go. So as much as we talk about culture and we talk about being positive, you still have to make plays.
Absolutely. And
you still got to execute on those type of situations. So walk me through how you guys work on that through the week. Jared Nelson was in a great spot in order to get the guy out at home, and he was called out at home, which was the third out of the inning, and so we executed it perfectly. Talk through me how you guys work on that in practice.
So we haven't, unfortunately, like today, we haven't had practice on a field in 3 weeks, which has been crazy to even think about. Every day that we're not playing, we are literally in the indoor facility because it's raining. We have not been able to get on our field and practice. With that being said, we knew, kind of what Willard likes to do. So a lot of that bunting, a lot of the small ball stuff, making you make plays and play catch. And so we talk a lot about that. Fortunately, we have a lot of guys on the field that are experienced and they've seen all that stuff before. And our biggest thing is always on defense, communicate. Number one is communicate, and John did that really well when the guy got a big lead. He said, step off or pick off, and Keith picked off. And then John kind of looked at him, and the guy took off. He gave the ball up to the middle infielder. And that's usually when the first baseman gives the ball up. That's usually when the guy from third will take off. And again, if we don't play great catch, it doesn't matter. And John threw a good ball right to Ryan at shortstop. And everybody was yelling 4-4-4, and Ryan did a great job getting the ball out of his hands quick and getting it to Jarrett in a position that he could catch it and make a good tag. And so it's defense, it's communication, and it's playing great catch. And we've got guys out there that have seen everything pretty much. And usually when that happens, you got a good group of defense. So, I thought we executed it well. We knew that they were going to do that at some point in the game. Fortunately, we got out after the second inning. We got out to a pretty good lead where that kind of eliminates a lot of that small ball stuff that you can do.
Well, and another thing, going back to Keith Pietmeyer, one of the things that I'm noticing this year that we may have not seen in the past is kids are diving, literally diving, bodies going. Jared tagged the guy out at third when we got him in the pickle, we got him in the rundown. He dove, got the guy out. Umpire was in a great position to make the call, made the right call. And then Keith Pietmeyer, I think the seventh inning, was trying to limit his pitches. We knew he was on the cusp of having to come out, reaching his pitch count. But foul ball, right close to the dugout. Keith runs, dives. Didn't get the ball, but that's just a testament to, we see John Golson make a diving play on first base. Yep. Just a testament to the athleticism, but the willpower to want to win.
Yeah.
And so hats off to you guys.
It's just heart, they want to win, and they'll do whatever it takes. And there's a lot to be said for knowing how to win and what it takes to win. And it's whatever you got to do. And yeah, Keith, it was really good to see from Keith. He was going to do whatever he could to finish that game. And you could tell by the way he got off the mound and tried to catch that ball. So again, it's contagious. Like when Jarrett dives like that, it gets the dugout going, it gets everybody on the field going, it gets the crowd going. And so you know what the next guy wants to do? He wants to do the exact same thing. And so it's a contagious, energy that we have on this team.
Well, we're enjoying it. We enjoy watching it. We enjoy seeing it, and it's fun. And you can see, there's people standing out here. There's people watching from the football field.
Yeah.
You may not be able to see that, but there's people out by the indoor standing and watching. And so it's great. And I think if we could hold 1,000 people, I think we would probably fill that up.
We're going to try.
So good. Well, let's talk about that. Man, what a segue, right? So let's talk about some of the cosmetic things that we're doing to come up to house more people.
Yep.
The more we play and the better we compete, the more people are going to come and watch.
Yeah.
And people from outside the community as well that just hear about it and they want to come and see, hey, I've heard this team's really good this year, so let's go scope them out. So let's talk about that. And I think I saw a red golf cart riding around here the other day. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we ended up getting a golf cart, renting a golf cart for the rest of the season. Just something to help out with parking. Like it is what it is. Parking's an issue here. There's not much we can do about it. A lot of people will park, quarter mile, half mile down the street at the junior high. And so we just wanted to make it more accessible to get those people here so they're not having to walk here and then walk back after the game. But just, simple little gesture to take a golf cart down, pick them up, bring them down here, take them back after the game. Something hopefully that people will enjoy and they'll appreciate so that they'll continue to come back. And then we're working on a bleacher thing that I think we've pretty close to gotten it approved. And so again, bleachers are kind of an issue with where we can put them, that kind of stuff. But we're working on a project to build bleachers that go up behind our current chair back seats and should house about close to 200, 250 more people. And those will be really nice. They'll look good. Again, it just get more people in there to be loud for us.
Yeah, and it was loud last night.
Yeah, it sure was.
I watched some of the footage from Color 10 had some of the footage, and it was it was a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I think every high school kid should be able to experience that.
Absolutely.
So I like that. So let's talk about the schedule. I don't know if we've got enough canoes for tomorrow night. We play Carthage there. We've been talking about their field. I think it's going to be ready to go. What can we expect from the Tigers?
So I, again, don't know a whole lot about them. Just kind of watched, their schedule on the website and see who they've played and how they've played. And they're scoring some runs lately, and they're going to compete. It's another conference game. Conference games are always tough because everybody wants to come out and play and wants to beat you. And we're the same way, no matter who we play. And we're at their house. Everybody wants to win at home and protect their house. So. It's going to be a nice little bus ride for us to get there, and then we got to get off the bus and get ready to go. Can't remember who they beat, but they beat somebody pretty good yesterday. I think Carl Junction maybe beat them up pretty good, and so they'll be coming up with some confidence too offensively. And We'll have Hardy Dugan on the mound again, ready to go, and we'll have another good practice today. Guys are excited. John Golson's signing day today for William Jewell, so guys will have a lot of energy for that, and then we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Good. And then Friday, it's a 12 o'clock game.
Yep.
So let's go back here. Carthage is a 4:30 at Carthage. Yep. And then Rogersville, they've moved it from U.S. Ballpark to Rogersville. I think there was a double booking issue. Noon on Friday.
Yep.
Shouldn't be an issue getting that game in. After today, the rain's supposed to subside for a few days. So we've talked about. I feel like we've talked about Rogersville 2 or 3 times because we just have to reschedule this game. But so tell me about what they're going to bring to the table. A team like that doesn't care if you're 15-0, 17-0, or 20-0. They don't care. They're going to compete.
Yep.
Coach
Little's teams always compete. They're fundamentally sound. Another local team right down the street that's got a lot of kids that our kids know and play summer ball with and travel with and do a lot of that stuff. And they've got a really good ball club again this year and got a really good record. And so they've got a couple conference games just like us. And so it's one of those games on a Friday where you're like, you don't know who's pitching for either team, but you're going to have to come out and be aggressive and attack and put up some runs early and hopefully build some confidence throughout the game. But we'll have Parker Bridges on the mound, and whoever else we need. But we'll be ready to go. It's another local game that our guys want to be excited about and go into Easter break on a high note.
Yeah, and a 12 o'clock game on a Friday.
Yeah,
fun. That's awesome. That's so much fun, especially this time of year. The grass is green. The field looks good when it's not raining, and it makes for good baseball.
Absolutely.
So, Coach, thank you so much.
Yep.
Congratulations. I know you got work to do, and you got practice to run and all of those things, but congratulations.
Thank you.
So far, good luck the rest of this week.
Appreciate it.
Good luck on some time off here on this weekend. I know you'll probably take a couple of days off. But, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Coming up, we're going to talk to the pitcher and outfielder, Sam Russo. But really quick, a word from one of our fine sponsors.
Mr. Callahan, what's your favorite day?
Friday?
Favorite time?
Morning. Why?
Well, Air Services offers online bookings so you can schedule around your favorite time.
That's a great option.
Now you can choose what works best with your schedule. No waiting, no operators, no canned music.
Please make it stop.
And with online bookings, you don't have to talk with anyone.
I'm liking this more and more.
Call Air Services today.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week 5 of our weekly Pace broadcast here on a rainy Wednesday afternoon here at Eagle Nation and Eagle Ballpark. I am here so excited for this. I am here with a senior left-handed thrower, left-handed hitter, pitcher, and outfielder, Sam Russo. Sam, welcome to our Pace broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So let's talk. Let's just get down to business. So far, great season, and you're hitting leadoff. You're being productive. I don't know what your on-base percentage is, but I know it's high. I know you're getting on, and that's important as a leadoff hitter. But you're seeing pitches as well, and that's huge. So tell me how special it is that you're a major part of this season so far. We're 15-0. Tell me how special that is to Sam Russo.
I love it. I love the team. I love the good coaches, Coach Hughes, Coach Kelly, Coach Nemo, Coach York. I like my good teammates to always back me up. The dugout's always intense, always gets hyped up, and it's just a good feeling to be out there.
Good. And so tell me a little bit about the dugout. I mean, we talk about it, but none of us get to experience that. They're loud. They're proud. Like we were talking about diving bodies and everything, and the dugout just goes nuts over that. And one of the funniest things that you do, we still have not gotten a camera on, is when they call to the bullpen and they run to kind of get everything kicked off. It's such an exciting atmosphere. Tell me how that plays when you look over it. Let's say you're on the mound. And when you look over to dugout and you know you've got that support from your teammates and they're watching every single thing that you're doing and making sure that you are successful, tell me how that feels.
It makes it a lot less stress-free. Say if I throw like a bad AB, like maybe I let a hit go and then a walk. They're still there to support me. It's not awkward. Like it's not silent. There's just background noise to help me stay focused and stuff like that. It's also nice knowing that like the quiet kids on our team can be loud at some point too. Like it doesn't matter. They're always going to support.
We love it. We love hearing it,
Yeah.
and we're super excited for that. So let's talk about that. So when you're not in the field, you're on the mound. So let's talk about that mental switch that you have to make, because it is a mental switch. And we were talking about that before this broadcast started, just you and I, about when you go to hit and you're pitching, it's a different kind of a feel than if you're playing outfield and hitting at the same time. So tell us about that mental switch that you have to make going from an outfielder to a pitcher, or going from a pitcher to an outfielder.
I'm always dialed in, I would say, but when I'm pitching, I really have to kind of lock everything in. Like I don't hear anything else. Like I'm dialed in, just me and Jared or me and Jack. But compared to outfield, I'm a little more let loose. I can walk around a little bit. But when I'm pitching, I really do have to lock in and get to throw strikes, or else it'd be bad.
Good. Well, you're having a great year on the mound,
Yeah.
and you're having a great year at the plate. And that's a testament to what we were talking about with Coach Hughes just a little bit ago, and the runs that we're putting up, and the aggressiveness at the plate, and his theory behind that is being aggressive, and it shows when you step onto the field and you do what you've done. You set the tone. I mean, when we come to bat, we're down 2 runs last night, and Willard's aggressive, but you guys were taking hacks. Right? I mean, you're swinging at strikes, and that's what you do so well, is you swing at strikes and you let balls be balls, and you don't chase. And that's a testament to the, just the way you handle yourself at the plate. So when you're on the mound, do you scout any of the hitters before you're throwing that day? And if you do scout them, how do you get the information on them?
If I play a local team, like I usually know how a lot of them do hit. And a lot of the times I can also tell from their stance. When it's more open, they seem to be pull hitters, but when they have a closed stance, they seem to be oppo. So if they're open, I pitch outside, and if they're a closed stance, I try and jam them on the inside, see if I can, jam them, get a rollover or something like that.
So let me ask you about that. So once through the lineup, you kind of get a bearing on what someone likes and what they don't like, right? Just by the way they position themselves, by the way they react. If they think that a ball is a specific ball, may have not been a strike and they thought it was a strike. So how do you adjust, and do you work with your catchers as they're coming through the second time through the lineup? How do you adjust, and what are some things that you do to communicate with your catcher, saying, hey, the 4-hole hitter, he does this, let's stay with this, or he really couldn't figure out my changeup, or what do you do as far as changing tendencies the second time those hitters come back through the lineup?
So I try to pitch like backwards. So say first time they come up, I'll throw 2 fastballs and a curveball. Maybe the second time they come up, I'll throw 2 changeups and a curveball, and then if one of them is ball, I'll come with an outside fastball. So I kind of try to change up the rhythm, and I also try to change up my timing a little bit too when they come by second.
So let's talk about let's go back to the culture just of this year. It's different than what we've seen in the years past. Tell me about how different the culture is, on the field, because we can't experience that, right? And we see you on game days. We don't see you in the practices and things like that. And I know you guys are working hard. So tell us a little bit about that culture that's different this year and the different feel than it has been in the past.
It tends to come out a lot in BP. Like when we have a good round of BP, we'll let each other know. Like Ryan hits a ball out, we'll be like, oh, good piece, Ryan, good round, something like that. And when we have kind of like maybe like a bad in and out and infield, or we're just kind of being lazy, we'll hold each other accountable. We'll say, hey, let's do better, because all in all, we do know that we can be better than what we are if we're doing bad. And yeah.
Well, I think that's the culture, is you guys picking each other up.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that we love to see every day on game day. And of course, we love the festivities, and so just a testament to the culture that Coach has built and that you guys have bought into. So my last question for you, and I always ask everybody that joins us on the show, What do you do different on game days, or do you have any superstitions? Do you? I think Jarrett Nelson said he sleeps with his bat and his glove when he gets a new one. I know Ryan Retone told us he always has caffeine on that day, and he won't touch any of the lines on the field, and all of those kinds of things. So what are some of your superstitions? Do you wear the same pair of socks, same undershirt? What is it?
No, I put money in my sock.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, the other day I put a $100 bill in my sock, and then a few games before that, I usually have some type of money on me. Like I had $13 in my back pocket. Or something like that. Sometimes it's just $2. It just depends on the day.
That's
but
awesome.
I always have some sort of cash on me.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, it's
is
weird.
putting money in your sock.
Mhm.
So, well, thank you for joining us. Good luck on the rest of your season. I think you're probably due up to throw maybe Tuesday next week, Tuesday or Wednesday next
Sounds
week,
about
something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
Best of luck on that. Continue to what you're doing at the plate, leading the team, and as a senior. And I don't know what your plans are after high school. I know you want to play baseball somewhere, but good luck with wherever you decide that you want to go. And thank you for joining us today on this broadcast. And we'll have you back. A lot of baseball left, so we'll have you back later on in the year. So, folks, I want to again thanks Sam Russo for joining us today. And coming up, we got a great guest. I'm super excited to pick his brain, Coach Landon Kelly. One of our coaches here at Eagle Nation. So we'll be right back after one of these messages from our great sponsors.
Mr. Callahan, what's your favorite day?
Friday?
Favorite time?
Morning. Why?
Well, Air Services offers online bookings so you can schedule around your favorite time.
That's a great option.
Now you can choose what works best with your schedule. No waiting, no operators, no canned music.
Please make it stop.
And with online booking, you don't have to talk with anyone.
I'm liking this more and more.
Call Air Services today.
Hey folks, welcome back to our weekly PACE broadcast here at Eagle Nation, and I am super excited about our next guest, Coach Landon Kelly here, one of our coaches for our baseball program. Coach, welcome to the show. Welcome to Eagle Nation. Super happy to have you. Super happy to pick your brain, find out kind of where you came from and all of those kinds of things. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your past, and how did you end up at Eagle Nation?
Yeah, so I grew up in Highlandville, Missouri. It's like 20 minutes that way. I went to school there for a couple years, and then I ended up going to Springfield Catholic. So I went to Immaculate Conception, which is a great school in Springfield, and that funnels into Springfield Catholic High School. So I went there, graduated there in 2016. I was a state runner-up. We won a state championship, so that was obviously fun. And then I ended up graduating. I went to OTC for 2 years to get my associates. And then got offered a job in the youth program at Nixa. So I took it, did that for 4 years. I had a couple good teams, some state-ranked teams there, and then I got a call from Coach Hughes. Asked if I wanted to be on the high school staff, and I said absolutely. And it's just been a dream come true.
Good,
so.
good for you. So now, what did you do last year? Did you coach in the younger
Yeah,
teams
so
last
I
year?
had a 14U team last year. Actually, the freshmen that I have this year, I had when they were 13 and 14, and so then I have them again this year when they're freshmen. And it helps a lot. I know these kids inside and out. They trust me. They trust what I'm teaching, what I'm telling them to do, and it's just really a bond that I haven't experienced before, and it really makes a difference on and off the field.
No, that's awesome, and that's a testament just to your leadership abilities, that you've gained that trust, and you've gained that repertoire with those kids, and I'm glad that you could carry that on onto the freshman side of the program. So tell us about your family. I don't think you're married, but tell us about your family and kind of your past. I know you said you graduated from Catholic. Tell us about a little more about what that baseball season was like, and maybe how that has prepared you.
Yeah, so I have a sister. She is 33. She works at Walmart as a manager, so a lot of people have probably seen her, the Nixa Walmart. My dad is a PA at the Nixa Family Medical Walk-in Clinic. So he tells me that he gets Nixa athletes in there all the time for physicals and stuff. And then my mom is actually a teacher at Immaculate Conception in Springfield. But yeah, Catholic that season, we were 28-2, and it was a fun team. That team was just talented. We had 12 seniors, so I didn't get to play a lot, but I'd pinch run, get into games if we were up by a lot. And then the state game and that whole run was just unbelievable. And then when I was a freshman the year before that, we were a state runner-up. And so I had 2 years where I got to be a part of a team that basically went all the way. And not a lot of people get to experience that, and it's just something that I'll never forget.
What positions did you play when you were in high school?
So my freshman and sophomore year, I played infield actually, and then my high school coach came to me and he said, "Hey, we're gonna move you to the outfield. You're fast. You got a good arm, so that's what's gonna be best." And I looked at him and I said, whatever is gonna help make this team win. And so I moved out there. Transition. I mean, it was hard, but I worked all off season in the summer and the winters, and I got better at it. And then I found a home out there in the outfield. And out of all the positions I played, that was my favorite spot.
Perfect. And it's great. And what you don't know maybe as a high school kid is that is helping you prepare for the future. And we talk about that a lot. And that's something we talk about with the other coaches is their philosophy. And that's what I want to ask you next is how does your philosophy of baseball and how does your philosophy of coaching kids and that respect factor, how does that gel with Coach Hughes, Coach Nemo, Coach York, and the other coaching staff? How does your philosophy gel with those other coaches?
So the biggest thing for me, and it's always been that way, is I want good kids on and off the field. I want kids that are going to be good in the classroom. They're going to be respectful. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. And that's one thing that coming in here, Coach Hughes, York, and Nemo, I mean, we all see eye to eye on it. And then we like to compete. And that's one thing that you can't teach kids. But if they see us coaches wanting to compete and bring energy, they're going to bring it. And it's like if you put Coach Hughes and I in a rock, paper, scissors game, it's going to be the biggest rock, paper, scissors game in the United States. So it's one thing that we all just see eye to eye and we gel, and it's just amazing.
Good. Well, and then so one of the last questions that I want to ask you is kind of a further on to that philosophy of what your coaching is. So in your past coaching responsibilities, how has that prepared you, and why is it so special to be a baseball coach here at Nixa High School?
Nixa is it's just different. The community comes together. I mean, you see the support that we have every single home game, and even some of the road games that we go on. Just the amount of people there that support you is just amazing. One thing that I love is the accountability and the responsibility that I get. Coach Hughes he trusts me. With that freshman group, he says, that's your team. Do what you think, and I'm gonna have your back 100%. And it's just awesome. And accountability, I was raised in a family where, my actions, good or bad, they're going to have, I'm going to be accountable for it. And he trusts me with it, and it's just something that's just truly amazing.
Well, good. Well, hey, listen, thank you so much. One thing we did want to ask you is we saw a couple of guys rounding first last night, and you reached out and tripped them.
Yeah.
And we didn't know if that was something you guys had practiced or if that was something. I'm kidding. We've been talking about field conditions, and I don't think we were necessarily worried about the infield. I think we were more worried about the grass.
Yeah, I didn't think anybody would slip on the grass. But it's kind of like a joke we've had. Like if you bobble a ball, there's a little man in the grass,
sure,
and we got to get him out. And so I thought I got him out when Jarrett tripped, but I guess there's a family out there or something because then Big John tripped afterwards. So.
Oh, that's good. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck the rest of your year. I know that there's pressure on you guys, and Coach Hughes handles it very well, but I know that there's pressure on some of the assistant coaches as well, because when you have such a successful organization, the younger kids want to be successful, but you're expected to be successful because when people see, okay, we're graduating this many seniors, here's who the kids are going to fill these spots coming up. And I know you guys have been very successful. And so congratulations on a great year, and I wish you the best. And I hope you guys have a good time and play good for the rest of the year. Good luck on the schedule this week, with Carthage and Rogersville coming up. And super glad to have you here at Eagle Nation. So good luck, and thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate it.
Hey, folks, that'll bring the end to week 5 of our PACE broadcast. We want to thank all of our participants today, Coach Hughes, Sam Russo, and Coach Kelly for joining us today. Another word from our great sponsors. We will see you on Thursday at Carthage High School. That game will be live on our YouTube channel. So make sure you go to YouTube, Nixa Public Schools. Catch that game live. You can catch the commentary and the cameras and all that good stuff if you can't make it. So please join us. Thank you. We will see you next week on week 6 of our weekly broadcast. And until then, thank you from all of us here at Eagle Nation. And until next time, have a good week.